Welcome to another episode of 365 Unplugged. I am Loryan Strant, and
I am Alistair Puget.
All right, we're going to try and keep this to 10 minutes today. So, hey, Cortana, set a timer for 10 minutes. All right, I'll use the clock.
Hey, Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, starting now.
Well, she's just set it.
Yeah, which one I should be using in this room. All right, so let's go. So the topic I had was animated GIFs in Yammer. What have you got?
Another chat program. Enter Kaizala.
Aha. All right, let's do it.
I don't even
Well, I
know
can't
what
see your
that is.
hand. Again.
1, 2,
2, 3. Oh, I win. Paper. However,
Rock.
Yeah, paper beats rock.
Okay, then I'm good. All right.
However, in light of the fact that it's the last three topics have actually been mine, I'll actually concede to you. So, Kaizala, let's talk about it. Tell me.
Yes. So what people have been seeing in the non-Kaizala world is all of a sudden it's being added to the Office 365 subscription.
Mm.
So
well,
naturally, people, all right, so let's take a step back. Kaizala, it's an Indian word for WhatsApp or WhatsApp.
I did not know that.
Did you not know that? So Kaizala is Microsoft's version of WhatsApp for the enterprise.
Okay. And where do they see it fitting in?
So it started off with first line workers, so it's pretty much like Staff Hub, and then also for Africa and other developing countries.
Right.
Because, mobile phone, running around with that, being able to converse. And it started about a year ago, and everyone was like, what is this? It's another WhatsApp. Yeah. And it is morphed into quite a really cool tool. But for me, I want to know what the Teams people are thinking about, right? Because there's new...
Go on.
There's new things coming for Teams. I don't know if we're able to talk about it. There was a Teams update, but Teams is starting to morph into having features like WhatsApp has.
Yeah, and I think that's an interesting one because, one of the attractions why organizations have deployed WhatsApp is for group-based and persistent chat, which is something they now have within Teams, which even if you haven't rolled out Teams, as in the Teams kind of service, if you will, you can still use the application and have that group chat functionality. And kind of because Skype for Business has had persistent chats for a while, but it's required Skype Business Server, not online. And often it's just an unutilized feature. So I see the merit in people and why they've gone to WhatsApp, and I can kind of see why Microsoft would want to bring them back. I guess it's probably just frustrating because we've had 4 different communication tools inside of Office 365. We've had Outlook forever and a day. We've had Skype for Business. We've had Yammer and then Teams. So, the what to use when has been crazy. So now we're looking at, okay, Teams is replacing Skype for Business. Okay, so we can maybe skip that and start the conversation here. Grow it down to 3, potentially. Okay, we can now do org-wide Teams. So if you're under 1,000 users, maybe you can skip Yammer or get rid of Yammer, potentially. Grow it down to 2. Hey, let's have Kaizala. Let's bring it back up there.
You know that Phil posted about that Teams limit being moved to 2,500.
Oh, for org-wide Teams?
Well, for Teams, yeah.
Well, Teams is always, or not always, Teams has been 2,500 for a while. It's just org-wide when it launched.
Okay, and I think it might be that then. Also, your video is frozen.
Yes, it has. I suspect it's my docking station. It's time to replace it. And I'm back.
And the wonderful world of Teams, you can switch your video off and you can switch it back on, and Ninja Dust, Loryan is back.
I am. So what does Kaizala do though? So we know it's a WhatsApp-like thing, but there's a bunch of features that I've not actually used myself personally, that are like task management and a whole bunch of other features.
So you can schedule a meeting in there, you can assign a task to someone. What's nice about it is you're now able to manage that centrally from a portal. So I can create org-wide groups
Wow,
I can add
right.
users, and I can manage the chat feature. Because many organizations, so think first line workers, you're a call center,
Yep.
and you have call center agents, and you have call center managers, and managers need to talk to their call center agents.
Right. But why
So
couldn't they
instead of using
use
WhatsApp,
Yammer for that before and still have the Yammer app on mobile phones and chat?
it's the same with Teams. Why can't they use Teams?
Well, maybe they're not ready for Teams, and so isn't. I
How
don't
can you
understand the
not be
logic
ready for
behind it.
Teams from a chat perspective, right?
No, I
Because
get that.
WhatsApp's got groups.
But so
Right.
here's my confusion. So I get that Kaizala works really well in, I guess, India and Philippines when it was initially released. So why is it now being released to the mainstream world?
Well,
the
there's a
Office
perfect
365?
example.
Where's our inner outer loop diagram for this? I'm confused.
Well, think about it, right? So call center agents are not just in India. Call centers are everywhere in the world, right?
Yeah.
Any insurance firm has got a call center. Anyone that sells stuff has got a call center, like a Take-A-Lot, like an Amazon and all of those things, right? So it's not just limited to that. And now you can manage the conversation, make sure I don't know if you can retain it, I haven't checked. But for people that you onboard into your organization that has been using WhatsApp unregulated, you can now provide them with a chat tool that doesn't have the bloatware that Teams has, where you have got to log in weirdly and you've got to switch between tenants, and there's all these other things. There's files and tabs and apps and things. Although
True.
there's an API, there's actually apps in Kaizala. So for your first line workers, very much like Staff Hub is. So for me,
Staff Hub's just been absorbed into Teams. So why are we now releasing a new product for first line workers? It's a bit confusing.
So if they're moving Staff Hub into Teams, they should have moved Staff Hub into Kaizala then, because Kaizala's got a portal that's going to probably move into your Office 365 admin portal, because it's not there right now.
But Staff Hub uses the groups and team services behind the scenes, so it kind of makes sense to fold that in. So my view of wouldn't it just have been better to have Kaizala kind of be a Teams Lite or just a Teams chat without the rest of the stuff in there?
Like a companion app for Teams, a chat app for Teams.
Yeah, possibly, but then that would just add some more confusion. But that's where I'm overall confused about why Kaizala is now part of Office 365. I mean, I get why you would want to leverage Office 365 features, and I've actually blogged about this myself earlier in the year. But I don't understand why making it, hey, it's only available for everybody. Just when we were converging platforms and cleaning it up, now we're going to add confusion to it. Because the other thing as well is part of the reason why people start WhatsApp groups is not just for the persistent chat. It's because they want to have a conversation with their peers outside of the prying eyes of the workplace. So now you're trying to say, hey, bring it in with Kaizala. You don't have to use WhatsApp. No, we're going to continue using WhatsApp.
Yeah. So for the organizations that do use WhatsApp, so for a call center manager to speak to his call center agents or her call center agents, there's a definite business case for changing that, because now you can manage that at a company level, where WhatsApp it's not regulated, you can't manage it, it's not formal.
I get it just creates another fork in the road where if you're looking at deploying Teams to have this chat-based, team-based experience, now you've got this fork in the road of saying, well, no, actually I want a lightweight mobile experience. Now, while Kaizala does work on the web as well, I'm not sure how useful this is going to be in that contact center experience. In all honesty, I'm really confused by why Microsoft has done this. They haven't really given any clear messaging about where it fits into the 365 ecosystem.
But does it have to fit into the ecosystem?
Oh, it's part of the product suite now.
You get it for free. You get Pro for free. Now, hold on. Kaizala is free, all right?
Yes.
The Pro version is free with an Office 365 tenant.
True, yes.
All right. So as a standalone product, Kaizala is another WhatsApp competitor. Okay?
Yes.
Which is fine. We don't mind that. So as a standalone product, it does that. If you want to use Kaizala in your organization to manage chats that is not as bloated as Teams is,
Yeah.
Use Kaizala.
Yeah.
There's nothing compelling about what I just said, by the way.
No, I get it. It's just, I think, more confusion for people, for users. It's another product for customers to turn off. I think what I probably would have expected Microsoft to have done when they announced it was updated the inner and outer loop, the donut diagram, whatever you want to call it, and explain its positioning amongst the other products.
Alexa, off.
Well, I guess that's our time.
Yeah. So
I don't think
is
we're
that a
any close,
thumbs
but I think
up?
we've talked about it.
Is that a thumbs up or a thumbs down for Kaizala then?
Look, personally, I've used Kaizala. It has the same drawbacks to me that WhatsApp does personally, which is no animated GIFs and no likes. So I quite,
No likes.
I really like. I like to be able to like a comment. So those two things is what actually stopped me from using Kaizala with a bunch of people and going back to using Facebook Messenger for those out of work chats. So for me,
I get it. Like so, yeah.
For me, it's not decided yet.
Okay, undecided.
Yeah. All right. That was a good chat.
Great. And
Thanks, everybody.
if you are watching us, you can follow both myself and Loryan on Twitter as well. If you have any questions, tune into Twitter, ping us up. Yeah.
And also, if you want to see us debate something, talk about something, ask us.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Cheers.
Toodles.